And then that brings us over to the gaming and tech. This week, we're diving headfirst into the digital world with long-awaited comebacks. We have major events, and we're going to talk about the upcoming major events and a whole lot of AI transforming how we interact with tech, because Google I/O just happened, so we're going to talk about that. So there's the first tease that I must tease you with is massive game that famously got kicked off of, again, a very fruit-themed platform. There is a huge update there. Looks like long-standing feud is kind of over, but it's court-mandated over, so I don't know if that counts. Speaking of things we've been waiting for, a huge gaming event is around the corner. We're going to get into a little bit of speculation territory as to what possibly could be in store for us because of said huge gaming event. And then finally, we have to talk about Google I/O and all of the AI things. We're not going to get into great detail. I'll send you in a couple of directions if you really need to get into that great detail. We're just going to talk about the broad strokes, but there's a lot there. We also have new game trailers, big, huge update for Splitgate fans, and it's quite a bit more. So let's jump into it. Welcome once again, nerds, to the Clips channel. This is a smaller portion of a much larger video called The Week in Nerddom that happens over on the main channel. This portion is specifically the gaming and tech portion, where we're going to be talking about brand new things in the world of gaming and tech. So like new computer things. We don't really get too deep into that. I feel like the guys over at Linus and Gamers Nexus and such cover that fairly well. So we'll get the broad strokes there. We'll get in a little bit more deeply in the gaming side of things, so new announcements, DLCs, etc., etc. And then, you know, we're going to suggest some things for you to try out between now and next time you come back. So thank you for joining me. Let's get into the news.
Subscribe. That is all.
Follow-ups and corrections here in gaming and tech. We've got some things. First up, Fortnite. That's the big one, I think. Fortnite, after 5 years of fighting with Apple, is finally back on the Apple Store. The Epic Games Store is also back up on the store. Basically, the way it boiled down is Apple had a court decision against them. There was a ruling against Apple. They were being forced to follow this court case because the judge basically said what you're doing is illegal, it is monopolistic, and you should not be doing this. So even after that happened, they still were not cooperating with Epic. Epic, as you well know, are who produce Fortnite. And so not only was the Epic Store not on the iOS store, the Apple Store, so you could download and play Fortnite and do the money transactions outside of the Apple ecosystem, which is what Apple was trying to prevent. So not only is that what was happening, but Apple then had to either approve or disapprove the existence of the Epic Games Store and Fortnite on their platform. And the way they reacted the way they dealt with that was basically like, I mean, if we just let it sit in limbo, then we're not technically violating the court order because we're not disallowing them on our platform. But then they also won't be on our platform because they haven't been approved. So like we found a loophole is kind of how I'm sure they were treating it. But it was also an inevitability that this would go back to court, which it did. And the court would then say, no, that's not how this is. Either you comply and you allow them on your platform, or you don't comply and we have to elevate this to the next court so that you can get even more penalties. And they were like, okay, we'll comply. So here we are. That's kind of the TLDR with my rambling explanation. So yeah, we're back to the point where Fortnite and Epic Games Epic Games Store, Epic Games whatever is on iOS platforms. So there's that. Let's go next into Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. That is quite the mouthful. We now have an official release date for it. It is October 30th on the Switch, Switch 2, PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and Steam. Everything is going to get it at the exact same time. October 30th, that game with all the words. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake, HD 2D Remaster. Remake, whatever. Summer Games Fest. Let's move on. Summer Games Fest is June 6th to the 8th, so we are just a week away roughly from Summer Games Fest, and so this is really just reminding you that it's happening. And then also, let's put a little bit of speculation out there. Let me know down in the comments, what do you expect to see at Summer Games Fest? Will it be Hollow Knight Silksong? Will we get a release date for the, what is that skate game, Skate Story on the Switch? Will we see more Switch 2 reveals? Will we get, this is a big speculation in the Mortal Kombat community, will we get some sort of announcement for what the next NetherRealm game will be? Either an Injustice 3 reveal or a Mortal Kombat 2, theoretically Mortal Kombat 13, whatever the hell it's going to be, because technically Mortal Kombat 1 was the 12th game in line. I don't know that they're going to continue that naming scheme, but they might. So it could be Mortal Kombat 2, could be Mortal Kombat 13, could be Injustice 3. There's a lot of speculation as to what's going to happen. I don't think that's what we're going to get, though I can still hope. But what do you think is going to happen at Summer Games Fest as far as like brand new, exciting announcements? We're bound to get something for the Switch 2. I honestly think we're also very likely to get some sort of announcement, official announcement from Microsoft about their handheld console. There's going to be a lot of stuff that happens over the course of the next week, so we will be keeping tabs. I'll do what I can to live tweet while things are being announced, but we will definitely be talking about it in next week's episode. So there's that. Let's move now into Amazon. This is an interesting one. We've been keeping kind of sort of tabs on this Amazon AI situation because the last time we talked about this, they were using AI to write product descriptions to summarize people's summarize people's reviews. There we go. In the review section, you know, why it has 3 stars, why it has 5 stars, etc., etc. They're using AI for these purposes. Now they're testing what they call AI hosts, and a host basically takes the information about the product you're looking at, and then it's an audio description to answer questions and to like sell you effectively on this product should you choose to go that direction. So that, on the very surface of it, really sounds sketchy, because Amazon already has an issue with listings, because especially when it comes to reviews and what the review is actually reviewing versus what's being listed, because you can change the product in the listing. Once you have 1 million positive reviews, then you change the product on that listing. Those reviews stay, but the product changes, so those reviews no longer apply. But you can't see that. A lot of people who aren't paying attention don't necessarily see the correlation, so they think, oh, this has great reviews, and then they get some sort of janky product and they say, well, what the hell? That's a big part of the reason. I mean, it's very reductive kind of view of exactly, or explanation rather, of exactly how that works. But if you want a more in-depth breakdown of how this works, Linus over at Linus Tech Tips, they have done a lot in the field of kind of critiquing Amazon and for the way they do business and the way they allow people to do business on their platform, etc., etc. So you can go check that out if you want a better description, better breakdown of how that works. But so because that is an issue, they're adding on top, instead of fixing the issue, they're adding AI on top of the issue, just kind of like everything else in the tech world these days. They're thinking that the AI is just going to fix it. And there is a little bit of hope that it's not going to be that much of a shit show, because the AI is not going to be limited to what the seller lists on the page. It is also going to do its own research through the web, and it's going to take information from the reviews for the product. But again, if we have review issues, then that's going to be irrelevant, and we have no idea how they're going to be utilizing information from the internet. So there's a lot of really weird gray area when it comes to this. but they are actively testing it right now. Very likely we'll be seeing this properly rolled out in the next 3 to 6 months. There has not been a window put on that, but that's generally the speed of these kind of things. The last time when we talked about when they were testing the AI summaries, that rolled out within a matter of weeks after the initial testing phase. So again, I think 3 to 6 months is a very generous estimate at this point. We'll see though. That's what we got for follow-ups and corrections. So let's talk about some trailers. We have 2 Ninja Turtles trailers to talk about. The first one is called Tactical Takedown. This is a card-based strategy game, RPG elements. Literally looks like a tabletop game turned digital with Ninja Turtles. Interesting, but I don't know how well it's going to sell. I honestly don't know the market for such games. It's got elements that feel like casual gaming, like the what is it, Fruit Ninja and all of those King games. Like it looks like it has elements that would appeal to audiences like that, but then it's got the Ninja Turtles IP attached to it. And also it looks like there's a decent amount of depth that would appeal more to the hardcore gamer side of things. So really kind of, I don't know, we'll see how this one plays out. But the other TMNT game that we have a teaser for, I wouldn't really call this a trailer, but a teaser for, it's called Empire City. It is a VR game that is coming out in 2026, and I would be totally down for Ninja Turtles in VR. Like, that sounds like crazy fun. I did not see a platform that it was going to be released on, so presumably they're aiming for multi-platforms. You got PSVR 2 or the Meta VR, and I'm sure there's still a number of other ones. Those are just kind of the ones that are coming to mind immediately. So it would seem that they're trying to go multi-platform, but we will see when we get a little bit closer to the release date exactly where they're going with that. Next up, we have a little bit of a tease for the upcoming Metal Gear adaptation, Metal Gear Delta. The opening cinematic with the updated graphics looks beautiful, and that's what you will find linked in the show notes. That is the trailer, I guess. It's 3 minutes of opening cinematic, and it looks fantastic. And then the one that I am the most excited about, because it is not just a new trailer, but an announcement. Splitgate 2 open beta has begun. I played already. It is going super well so far. I was a big fan of the first Splitgate. This one is only expanding on the things that are already amazing about that game. You've got improved mobility. You've got improved mines, or grenades, I guess technically. They're also mines that you can unlock, but like just everything that really worked well for Splitgate, they have made it somehow better. Judging by the trailer too, once we finally get into the game itself, once the beta ends, I would imagine, the map editor that they have looks vastly superior to the one that they had in the previous game. If anyone remembers the live streams from back then, we were trying to build a Halo map in the Splitgate map editor, and it was very slow and very difficult to get the kind of dimensions we were looking for. So I was trying to build Lockout is the map. But yeah, super stoked for the Splitgate 2 trailer, Splitgate 2 beta announcement. If you haven't played and you like the FPS genre, go check it out. There's 2 modes this time around. You have the classic arena mode where you have all the different game styles, but now they have like a 25 on 25 mode that is battle royale style, it would seem. So pretty intrigued by that. I haven't played that one just yet, just the arena mode, but still Splitgate 2, super stoked. Let's move on. Now we have regular ass news. We have actually some Microsoft stuff that was announced at their big tech event that just happened. So Microsoft is adding AI. This is going to be a going theme for for gaming and tech this week. Microsoft's adding AI to 3 of their existing products that are already out on the market. There's some caveats to how they're adding this, but let's just talk about them first. So we have Notepad is the big one, I feel like. There's technically already AI in Notepad, but this is expanding on the AI in Notepad. The expansion to the AI in Notepad is, as it stands now, before this update, as it stands, you can modify existing text with the assistance of AI. Now, in Notepad, with this new AI upgrade, you can generate new text that did not previously exist inside of the app. So interesting. There is also Paint is getting some AI upgrades, specifically the ability to, I'm pretty sure it was a text to image generation that creates stickers. So very basic kind of image generation, but then also the ability to select specific areas, specific items in an image. So the example I believe in the video that I saw was like a picture of a sea scene, a bunch of underwater creatures and some coral reefs and stuff like that. And you can pick, there's the turtle, so we can highlight the turtle, and then we can edit only the turtle. And you want to edit the clownfish and make them purple, then you can do that inside of Microsoft freaking Paint. Wow. So, and then the other one is the snipping tool. It's a real minor thing to the snipping tool. Actually, it's two technically updates. The first of the snipping tool updates is the, what do they call it? It's in here. I know it is. I put it in here. I remember putting it. There it is. Perfect screenshot is what they're calling it. A perfect screenshot is, so you take a screenshot of, say, a web browser, and previously you would have to then go in post and edit out the things in the web browser so you can get just the image. Well, Perfect Screenshot does that part for you, should that be the situation you're in. That's just the one example. I'm sure there are many more, but that's just the kind of the easiest way to explain it. And then the other one inside of the snipping tool is a color number verifier, I guess you would call it. It is adding a color picker tool that can provide the hex, RGB, or HSL number for a given color on your screen. So those are just the numbers that you use to dial them in when you're writing code, or if you're trying to match something up in an image editor, you need to know those values in order to get the exact color reference. Oftentimes monitors colors are not precise enough to do that by eye. So the best way to do it is going to be if you have the hex code or the RGB code or the, what was the other one? HSL code. So now you can do that with a free piece of software from Microsoft. And well, not exactly free. That brings us to the other part of this story, is that how these things are being incorporated. So the Microsoft Notepad situation, where I have this in here, Notepad tools are only for those with a Microsoft 365 subscription or a Copilot Pro subscription. So you can't just download Notepad or upgrade Notepad for free, even though the basic version of it is free. You have to have Microsoft 365 or Copilot Pro, so you're paying them monthly effectively. The new stuff in Paint is only going to be available on PCs that are Copilot Plus PCs. So I know there's been a whole lot of, I believe there are HP laptops that have been announced that are going to be Copilot Plus, so they'll have it. And anything in the future that says that, I'm sure they're going to create some sort of logo for it that says Copilot Plus enabled or something along those lines. That's how you can use the stuff in Paint. And then the snipping tool, the snapshot feature, is only going to be, once again, for Copilot Plus PCs, though the color picker seems to be just coming with the app automatically. I was unable to see exactly if there are any stipulations as to how to get that. So if you have the Microsoft snipping tool and you upgrade it, presumably regardless of your system, you will be able to get the color picker tool. If anything changes, we'll keep a tab on it, but let's move on. All right, nerds, so let's take a break real quick. New season, new sponsor. Well, not exactly new sponsor. This is technically an old sponsor. Me, I'm sponsoring myself. This season, we're going to be doing a big merch push. Don't forget the DUBBY. DUBBY's always great, but we have merch. We're going to be doing active merch things, sales and special items and all this stuff. Right now, there are no special items up just yet over at the Spring store. We do have random stuff on the Redbubble store, both of which are linked down below. But if you go check out the Spring store, that's where the Basic Nerd merch line is. So any of your Basic Nerd stuff that you want, basically it's all of the sections that we do the Week in Nerddom in. So there's a gaming nerd, there's a comic book nerd, there's a music nerd, there's a TV nerd, all of the different sections, and then the split sections even. We have a gaming nerd, we have a tech nerd, we have comic book nerd, and a book nerd. All of these are up in the Basic Nerd line. And then probably roughly once a month throughout the course of this season, we're going to be doing a special shirt in each of those, the section shirts or however we're gonna sell it. I haven't worked out all of the details just yet, but we're getting there, all right? So go check out the Basic Nerd stuff. I super dig it. I think it's just the most simple way to proclaim to the world that you are nerdy in this area, or just generally nerdy, because it says generally nerdy at the back of all of these shirts, except for the zip-up hoodies say it on the chest. So yeah, go check it out. That is, I'm going to have a special, I will have things to show off soon. I need to order the individuals, the samples, and this shirt that I'm wearing right now is not currently up on the store. This is going to come back. It needs to be a little bit reworked because it still has the old logo on it. But yeah, we will be bringing back the "Do You Even Pop Culture, Bro" shirts as a specialty item sometime throughout this season. So stay tuned for that. Go check out the merch, and let's get back to the video. Our next one has to do, it's also going to be a long one. It's Google I/O has happened this week. This honestly was enormous. Google I/O this week was, there's literally, you can watch a dozen videos on Google I/O and still not get everything that they announced in this. So I know that we got information over at Matt Wolf. If you're looking specifically for the AI oriented stuff, his most recent video, Matt Wolf does a lot of AI coverage, and then Linus did some stuff as far as Google I/O is concerned, and I'm pretty sure Gamers Nexus covered a little bit of it as well. Basically any tech YouTuber, you can go check out Marquez Brownlee. I'm sure he has a pretty good breakdown of a lot of it as well. So basically though, the big theme this week, or this year for Google I/O, surprise, was AI. We have AI mode for search in the US, which is a new chatbot experience. Basically, it's ridiculous. Let's just add another button that says AI. We also have AI model 2.5 in Gemini, a new AI Ultra subscription plan that, oh man, is really steep. Beyond just AI, there was news on Android XR. XReal announced as a new hardware partner, and Google's 3D video conferencing tech, formerly Project Starline, is now called Google Beam, will be available for enterprise customers. So that's also a pretty steep subscription model. And Chrome's password manager is also getting an upgrade to automatically change compromised passwords for supported sites. I think of all of the news, that is the best news, because Password Manager in Google is free, but is not great. But the fact that it automatically prompts you, or does it for you, to update compromised passwords once it knows it's compromised, and for a very specific set of, what is it, eligible sites? Is that how they said it? Supported sites. That's cool, that's great, that's a step in the proper direction. I think that is the best news we got this week. That is legitimately consumer protection issues that are being addressed there. Again, all of this stuff, you can get a much better breakdown in other videos that are very specifically about this, or go check out the Engadget article that I have linked in the show notes, because that's where I kind of got the gist of all of this stuff aside from those videos as well. So that's going to be the best place to do it. But that is what we have this week for regular ass news in gaming and tech, which brings us to suggestions. And if you didn't see this one coming, you weren't paying attention. Splitgate, baby, is our suggestion this week. I am so stoked to be playing some more Splitgate. It's pulled me away from Mortal Kombat. That says a lot. So yeah, Splitgate 2, just an incredible amount of fun if you're an FPS player, and not like a war sim FPS player. If you play FPSs more in the line of Halo and the like, then this is going to be right up your alley. If you're more of a COD guy, this might not be exactly what you're looking for, unless you're looking for a breath of fresh air from all of that war simulation. So I cannot recommend this enough. It is so much fun to play, and it is so addicting.
Go play. Have fun.
Splitgate 2, your suggestion for the week. Just find me on there, man. Thank you very much, nerds, for tuning in. If you want to level up your nerdy, geeky, pop culture knowledge, then don't forget to subscribe and do all of the things. Go check out the main channel, Generally Nerdy, for the larger portion. Again, you get all of these sections into one convenient video over on Generally Nerdy. The name of the show is The Week in Nerddom. Thank you for checking out this clip. We will see you next time. Before we go, though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, probably here.